This is a very difficult video for me to make, but before many of my viewers start asking me why I don't show pictures or videos of Bailey anymore, I feel I need to explain what happened. In late August, just a few weeks ago, I had to make the decision to help Bailey, my cat, leave this earth and cross over to the place of peace that awaits all animals. Please, if you aren't interested in cats or pets or hearing how or why this happened, please click away. I cannot deal with any comment saying, "Big deal about your cat," or, "Gee, I wish that was my biggest problem I had." So I'm giving you fair warning. Please click away if you're not interested. This video is for the many viewers who always showed an interest in Bailey and asked about him with care and kindness. So here's what happened. Back in July, Bailey had to have several teeth extracted. The vet had noticed there was inflammation in his gums and said that it was urgent. I was shocked because I hadn't noticed that he was in any sort of discomfort, but the vet had reassured me and told me that cats are masters at hiding their pain. So while I felt guilty, I felt better that at least he was getting this looked after. After surgery, he seemed to be recovering well, and I even posted on YouTube that he was doing fine. But then I noticed that something was definitely not right. He kept pawing and making these exaggerated licking and chewing motions. When he wasn't eating, he was just trying to groom himself or even trying to play, and he would start pawing and making these chewing motions. So I brought him back to the vet because this was a new behavior, and I thought maybe there might be a suture left in there from his surgery. So they actually had to sedate him to take a peek and look, because he was having nothing to do with anyone taking any further looks in his mouth while he was awake. So they sedated him, and sure enough, they found a suture in there. So I took him back home and thought, great, we got that looked after. But then he started pawing at his mouth and his face even more. So I took him back a second time, and he had to be sedated again. So this was over the course of a couple of weeks. I left him there for the day, and they said they would call me when he was out of sedation and when he was ready to be picked up. They called me later that afternoon and said he would be ready to be picked up around 5, and that we would discuss the course of action for his condition going forward. I was very confused. I didn't know what that meant. Condition? I thought we were talking about sutures left in. When I went to the vets, before they brought him out to me, they told me that they suspected that he had something called feline orofacial pain syndrome, or FOPS. FOPS is a chronic nerve disorder that causes severe oral pain when triggered by mouth movements or stress. The pain is out of proportion to anything physically visible. It's a neuropathic condition similar to phantom limb pain in humans. Some cats develop it after dental issues. In Bailey's case, it very well may have been triggered by the surgery that was meant to help him. When they brought Bailey back to me after they told me this, I could see he was in terrible shape. He was so distressed and in so much pain that he had scratched all around his mouth and had blood all over his paws. This was very difficult to see. I was told that the only treatment would be pain management, probably with gabapentin. I had attempted to give Bailey gabapentin previously for other issues, and I knew that he never took it. He wouldn't have anything to do with it. He could smell it a mile away. He was too clever for that. And how was I supposed to give him this medication when his face was clearly causing him so much pain? He wouldn't have let me even touch his face, but the pain management would never fix the underlying problem. Unfortunately, I know what pain management in pets means. It doesn't work. I had gone through this before with my beloved dogs, Ruby and Tucker. With them, I fear I had waited too long because I wasn't ready to let go of them. And I promised myself I would never do that again to a pet. Let them suffer because I didn't want to feel pain. As I drove home with him from the vet's on that Saturday afternoon, I was very angry at the vet and at the veterinary system as a whole, because sometimes it seems like the money is more important to them than pet care and comfort. They should have known that he would suffer and that I would feel helpless while watching him suffer. By early Sunday morning, I took him to a 24-hour emergency animal hospital where I made the decision to end his pain. I sobbed the whole way home to an apartment that felt so incredibly empty. I had always said that that apartment was Bailey's, that he just let me stay there. And now there I was alone. That was in fact why I had to take a break from the channel. I wasn't coping well with the loss. I kept asking myself, why did this happen? Why all of the health issues? Why so many struggles? And why did it have to end that way? When I rescued Bailey from the shelter 3.5 years ago, I thought cats were aloof and independent. I didn't think I could love a cat as deeply as I had loved my dogs. Well, I was wrong. He was my shadow, my buddy, my friend. He followed me everywhere. He always just wanted to do what I was doing and be where I was. When I came home to the apartment, I'd see his little shadow under the door, and I knew that that's where he slept when I was away, waiting for me to come home. It took a couple of years to really let his affectionate side come out, but who knows what he had been through before, because he had been surrendered to the shelter twice before. But he sure turned into one great big love bug. And oh, did he make me laugh. Like this picture. I just can't not laugh when I see it. I had to speak with someone about my grief. And they told me this, that Bailey isn't gone. He's still with me. He's still headbutting my feet and my legs, trying to get my attention. Hogging the bed, keeping me company. His spirit is still with me. Everything has a time and a purpose, and we have no control over that. And asking why, there are no answers. There never are. They said I needed to focus on the happiness we shared and not to focus on the ending. Those words did help me. But the thing is, at 61, this is the very first time in my life that I've lived on my own. I lived with my family until I got married the first time when I was just 22. I've always lived with a husband or my children or pets. I've always had someone or something to keep me company, or someone or something to care for and to love. And now it's just me. I know I'll get another cat one day. I know there's another one out there somewhere waiting for me and waiting for a home and someone to love. But I have to wait a little while. I need to sit with these feelings and let myself feel them and let time do its healing work. Thank you for listening, and thank you to those of you who loved Bailey from afar. Pets may be small creatures in the grand scheme of things, but in our lives, they are family. And like family, they leave an impression on our hearts that never fades. Until next time, take care.